Welcome everyone, it's John the Net Guy. Happy to be here. It is show number 508. This is going to be all about the Starlink Mini, some mobile internet, and a tablet that can actually take pictures underwater. And you wouldn't believe how much these things cost. They're all getting to be very affordable. Thank you guys for being patient here. It took me a little bit longer to get started on this one because honestly, there's a lot of products to demo. I have a day job, so I work that. And then when I get done with that, I get ready for the show and everything lined up. I've got a great selection of products tonight. If you're wondering what those are, they're actually going to be in the video description below. If you're on Amazon watching, luckily enough, they make it easy with a carousel. So the carousel on Amazon is going to be off on this side, but we're going to get those guys in here in just a second. I knew he'd be here. Thanks for joining Blind Tech. Previously, Jonathan Talks Hardware. Jonathan, he's a creator from the East Coast. He does great content around budget PC builds. Did a little 3D printing content I saw the other day, John. Very good stuff. Check him out if you haven't already. If you want to find out the deals and the items that I've got coming up here, the URL down below that's scrolling, it's amazon.com/shop/thenetguy. I know you have to type it in. It's case sensitive, all lowercase. That is where you can see my Amazon store. Let me show you what that looks like real quick before we get started. And I will bring that up here. I've got multiple cameras, multiple angles. If you go there, you're going to see an idea list called 508 Starlink, and it's got this really cool looking phone on the front. And that's because we're going to be looking at a few mobile products, some power products, and one that we didn't get to last week, 1 terabyte MicroSD card. So if you're interested in being a creator or you are a creator, this one, $79 right now. It's on sale. It's about 7.9 cents per gig. So coming down quite a bit in price. And that's what we're going to kick the show off with today, actually, is a benchmark of that unit. Now, in my prior video, we actually did a benchmark of 4 or 5 different MicroSD cards, and the surprising leader was the high endurance from SanDisk. So I saw this one actually come out right here on sale, so I had to pick it up. So this is from PNY. Now you're wondering, who is PNY? Well, they're a popular brand, and maybe not as expensive often as some of the SanDisk, Samsung brands, but not necessarily any worse. You know, these guys have been around. They've been in business for a very long time. This is their Pro Elite Prime. Now, try to get 3 letters that mean really awesome together, 3 words, and that's what it is. So 1 terabyte with the adapter here. Now we're going to use our speed adapter that we used on all the other benchmarks, and we're going to use the Blackmagic speed test. But I'm going to do a quick unbox of it here in a second. Temperature proof, shock proof, magnet proof, and waterproof. Now this isn't necessarily high endurance like the other ones, but again, these solid state memory cards are really, really good. I'm going to check the chat real quick. And BC's in here, says, good evening. Good evening to you, BC. Ben's here checking in on the YouTube side this week. Nice to see you there. He says, I figured the stream was going to be an April Fool's joke where you would keep pushing it back. That would be hilarious, but I so wouldn't do that to you. I only had to push it back one section. Let me do this real fast before we get this started. I'm going to go over behind me. I'm going to click stream on this computer behind me, and I'm going to say start streaming. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to this phone, and I'm going to say preview. And hopefully this goes, because if it goes, then I can be really happy and we can move on. There we go. I'm going to hit go live in 3, 2, 1. We're going to be live on Amazon here. Welcome, Amazonians. And then I am going to pick this product in the Amazon carousel. So now we're officially live on Amazon. We can start having a great evening. So this is from PNY. Their Pro Elite Prime. That's like #1 best device that they could come up with. We are going to open it up real quick here. They make these things really hard to open. Some of them you can cut the top. I want to try to save the box of this as much as I can to make it look good. So I'm just going to remove the card. Now, if you can believe it, that is 1 terabyte in your pocket. Yeah, think about that. That is such an amount of storage. You've got multiple full-length movies. I think, you know, my entire movie collection compressed could probably fit on that. That is going to be so much audio. That's going to be hours of video, even at 4K. To test this thing out, we are going to pull my laptop out. This is the one that we used last time, and I'm going to use this high-speed Lexar. It goes up to 350 megabytes per second, and we are going to do a benchmark test with this. Give me 1 second to get everything lined up. I got to get you a feed for the video, so you'll be able to see this too. Allow that to connect. Okay. Just firing this device up. This is brand new, unformatted technology here. So this is my machine. Hopefully, yep, we're in mirroring mode, which is what I wanted. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. Now you can see it comes back as untitled with 999 gigs free. Actually, you can't see because I'm blocking your corner. So it's in this corner. It popped up on my Mac. Now this is going to work for your Nintendo Switch disk utility app. It's going to work on your Nintendo Switch. It's going to work on a variety of other devices, Macs, PCs, and so on. It's EXT formatted, 999.99 gigabytes total capacity, and only 0.06 gigabytes taken up here on it, but just for the file system. So you're going to get the full amount out of this. I'm going to do the Blackmagic disk speed test. We're going to test the target drive, and the target drive is going to be untitled. And we're going to kick this one off here. I'm going to try to see if I can make this any bigger. I think that's about it right now. We're going to hit the start. Write speed out of the door is a rocket. It's coming in 200. It was really, really good right at the start, and then it started to back off here. So we're going to find out. Kale's checking in on Facebook, talking about the tablet that's coming up here. We're going to let this thing run 3 times like we always do. Try to get the best score here. So 195.3, 163.21, really consistent on the read speed. But that would be a second or third screen on a boat, Kale. Absolutely. I'm going to talk about that because I'm interested in using it. Now, they advertise up to 200 megabytes per second, right? Read. And 150 megs, right? Sorry, I got that backwards because they have it listed backwards from what we're doing. So it is getting 162 megs per second on the read side, which is, about 80% of what their rated capacity is, what they're saying their max is. But on the write side, it's doing a fantastic job here. I'm actually kind of curious to do this same test again, but to do it with their adapter. We'll just cut the Lexar completely out of the picture. We'll find out if this thing is really as fast as it says. Now, when we look at the tablet and the phone and the other items that are coming up, I'll have to say that having additional storage is a big game changer when you're on an Android device versus an iOS device. I'm a big iOS fan for just that reason. Is they're just so stable, they're fast, but the storage has been just abysmal on those, and you pay out the nose for storage. With something like this, right now, this one is $79. Looks like 195 and 161 is the performance of it. So we'll stop with that. I'm going to go ahead and do a clean eject. But if you had this micro SD card, both the phone and the tablet that I'm going to show you next actually support this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go direct with their adapter into the side of the Mac, and we'll use the Mac's built-in port. And we'll see if their adapter is any faster than the one. So I'm going to allow it to talk to it with their adapter. Same data on here. I'm going to do Blackmagic disk speed test. I'm going to select the target drive. I'm going to go ahead and do untitled again. And we're going to do the speed test through their adapter. Still very solid numbers, even with an adapter. A little bit slower. You can see here. I don't know if the Lexar has buffering, and that's why it's always done so well. There's a little stall for us, yeah. So maybe a little bit of I/O contention on the micro SD slot here. Let's see what the read speed comes back as. So it's going to switch over and hopefully do the read here in just a second. Yeah, so it definitely pays to have a dedicated adapter. You can see the read speed is 88, write speed is 109. So oh gosh, what is that? 65%-ish roughly of the write speed and the read speed is cut nearly in half by going through just the straight adapter. So what do I mean by that? I'm going to stop the test here when it gets to the top. So what I just did, I'll show you guys here. I'm using their adapter. So this is the adapter that came in the kit, the straight MicroSD. No electronics, no circuitry. It is just plugged right into the end of it versus using an actual interface here. So this interface is much faster. Let me know if you've ever experienced that, where the having an actual card reader for micro is actually better than using these little adapters. I didn't know there was a big difference, but clearly on the speed test, it's performing much, much differently. Now, overall, I like it. I think we're going to test it out here in a few of the devices coming up, but I did want to give it a showing. Where do those numbers stack up real quick? Let's see if I have them from the last show. If you guys aren't already, let's see. I don't want that one. I want that one. If you visit my show page here on YouTube, I've got a bunch of videos. I take all of the videos here, and I've tested NVMe drives, I've tested monitors, I've tested everything else, and we tested out the fastest MicroSD here. And just to do a quick look, we're going to go to the end final score. So how does a write speed of 160 compare? Really, really well. Now, it's not going to be as good as the write speeds that were on the larger drives, which is this is part of, but it actually beats a lot of these smaller drives. I do have another video that's a 6-way comparison, and that has some of the larger drives in it. Let's see. This is the SanDisk. Here we go. So this is the one that beat them all so far. I'm just going to go real quick to the results page so you can see it. So this one had a write speed of 160. Oh, sorry, a write speed of 190 and a read speed of 160. How would that have compared? It would have beat these guys. It would have beat them by about 30 megabytes. So this is the fastest card we've tested. So what do you guys think in the chat? Does that mean that it's okay to call itself the Pro Elite Prime? It is the fastest card that has graced my show so far. And it is also 1 terabyte, which is an enormous amount of storage. So very cool showing from PNY. They take the lead right now, but I'm going to have to try to look for some additional 1 terabyte cards to try out to see if they can best or match this. I haven't been in the 1 terabyte class in a while. The next product, I need to go ahead and highlight that on the Amazon show page. Hey, Mike is watching on Amazon. Very good to see you here. SD cards, micro SDs, you can use them to back up your computer even with that adapter. So not only can they be really cool for transferring pictures and photos and files between all your devices, but this next product can actually use it. Now, I do have a full unboxing that my editor is going to save you some time and totally stitch in. Let me clean the screen on this thing because I've got fingerprints all over it. And this is actually from the Oukitel company. This is an Android smartphone. So being an Android smartphone, there's a lot of them out there, and there's a lot of different quality levels with Android smartphones that you're going to have to be careful of. I'm actually getting out of the screen on this one. Beautiful AMOLED screen here, 6.7-inch screen. Just to give you a comparison, here's my iPhone 16 Pro Max. It's the same size, literally the same size. Brightness-wise, this thing gets so bright, I've got it turned down so that it can be on the show. But let me show you what that looks like here on the top down. So this is the screen on it. I wish you could actually see the color. Again, it is almost completely blurred out. That's the brightness level I've got right now. That's how bright this thing gets. You can see the rest of my set is dimming down because this thing gets super bright. Now, why is brightness important? Well, if you're out on the go, having a screen that can get brighter than the sun, if you're using this at the beach, you're using this summer, this is an excellent, excellent screen. Now, color-wise, I started to play a little bit of gaming on it. Now, this is kind of neat. I'm going to actually have to turn down the brightness so you can even see the game. Here we go. I did try to use my standard HDMI adapters, and it didn't want to work, but let's say you're into Minecraft. So gorgeous screen on this one. The screen resolution, I believe, is 800 by 1280. So it's not going to be super, super HD. But if you think about it, this screen size is absolutely tiny So it's putting all of those pixels in this little area. You're not going to be able to see the pixels anyway. I played a little bit of Minecraft earlier and I died almost instantly, but I wanted to show you the responsiveness for gaming on this. So whether you're consuming media, you're making phone calls, you're gaming, you're browsing the web, you're doing all that kind of stuff, you can do that from this device. Now, this is available on Amazon, and the beauty of this, unlike a lot of other phones where you have to pay insurance and you have to pay all these other fees and stuff on there, this device is unlocked. So if you're on T-Mobile, if you're on Mint like I am with it, if you're on any one of those carriers, you can use this device. Now, I've been playing a lot more Minecraft with the kids on my other tablets, but for on-the-go gaming, you know, definitely decent performance here. I haven't seen any lagging, any issues on it. It's been really, really good. So that's Minecraft running. I actually installed a bunch of other apps and games, and you can put whatever you want on this. If you're looking at some of these other devices, we'll talk about tablets, you have to really worry about what they allow you to do. This has the full Google Play Store. It's got Google Photos, Gmail. It's got all of the standard Android apps. Plus, like I use Amazon Music. I was testing the speaker out a little earlier. I don't want to get myself in trouble with YouTube with the music, but I can tell you that it's trying to find out if I'm on there. That the speaker sounds good. It's a little bit tinny. Now, all cell phones are kind of that way. It does have a single-sided speaker down here, so it's not stereo. Something to think about. If you want to consume media like Prime Video, my wife and I are watching a ton of shows right now. We actually just started watching The House of David last night, so we're just watching that. Let's take just a quick look at how quick this thing is responsiveness, and then we'll play some video. So it's already playing that fast. There's literally like no lag. That was the other thing. Now I've got a commercial because it's, of course, Amazon Prime that now has commercials on here. But you can very easily switch between all of the apps that we have. I'm trying to get out of the full screen apps. That's going to be in a small screen. I did a speed test earlier on it. Wi-Fi speeds, it was getting, I don't know, so we can try that right now. So Wi-Fi speeds, let's do a quick test on this. I don't know if this is Wi-Fi 6, but it was getting over 300 megabytes per second on my Wi-Fi, and my closest AP is over in that corner over here. And I'm streaming my show right now. So it's getting up there to about 300 megabytes. So they're a little over 300 now, 307 down and 310. Now that's not the over-the-air cellular. Let's talk about the cellular network on this. This has a 4G LTE network on it. I'm going to switch over to that now. I'm going to turn my mobile data on. It has that. I'm on Mint Mobile right now, which is a T-Mobile wholesaler. So, you know, you'll be able to do that. Not only that, but you can have multiple carriers. This is an international capable phone. So maybe you want to have a prepaid or two prepaid accounts. Maybe use one for data. So here we go. I'm going to get that. So that was Mint Mobile just popping up here. So there's my plan. I've used a very tiny amount of it. Let's go to the speed test. I'm going to run that speed test again. And now I'm on the T-Mobile USA network. This was giving me about 25 megabytes per second. It's dropping down a little bit here. We got a lot of EF, and my house has a metal roof, which doesn't help anything, which is pretty normal. Again, 4G LTE, it's not going to be the 5G, and I've only got 1 bar of service down here in my basement. So, you know, upstream, definitely going to be a little slower than that. But overall, decent phone. As a phone, it's going to work. Let's talk about media. I did a couple quick tests. Now, we'll be able to tell this here a little bit earlier. So these are actually some videos that I took earlier with the phone and the camera. I'll put those into the review so you see what the quality looks like. But again, it actually has on the rear camera, which you do all of your photos with, 50 megapixel rear camera and a 32 megapixel front camera. Now, are you willing to spend $500, $600, $700, $800 for an iPhone? You know, maybe. That's that new entry-level iPhone, I think is $600. This is a super light phone running Android, so you can put parental controls on it. I'm looking around real quick here because I want to show you a couple of the accessories that come with it. Now, I did an unboxing video. Like I said, I'll splice this in. This is the P1. I have 24 gigs of memory here, so it's got 8 plus an expanded 16. It has 256 gigs of storage built into it. So you go look at the iPhones that just started offering that amount of storage here. Comes with accessories already. You don't have to go out and buy. I recommend everybody put a screen protector on. This has the wipes. It's got the SIM card remover tool. It's got a manual. It has a second screen protector here for you, should you need it. This is a tempered glass one. But we come down in here, and it's actually going to have your charging brick, and it actually does come with a Type-C to Type-C cable, which I appreciate. But I want to show you real quick on this. It actually already has a screen protector installed. There's a plastic screen protector on it, it feels, with the notch up here. So you'd peel that off and put the tempered glass on if you want. The other thing is, now my editor's going to hate me because I can't show barcodes on Amazon in our videos. There's just some weird rule about that. So I'm going to cover that up. But it actually has a really nice finish. If you look at that, it is available in 3 colors right now. I believe purple and this kind of gray is another color. We're going to take a look at the Amazon page here in a second. So gorgeous looking, but if you want to keep that phone looking gorgeous, they include a plastic protector that you can throw on it, and it keeps it, at least the corners, if you were to drop it, it keeps it safe. The other interesting thing about this, if you think about costs of phones, so this one's right now at $269, $270 for the highest end spec phone. You can get the lower memory versions a little bit cheaper, but $250, let's say, is what you'd pay for the insurance for my iPhone. When I paid them for my Apple Care for 2 years, that's what it would cost. So if you're going to damage your phone in 2 years, just the insurance alone is the cost of this one. Now it is Android, so take that with a grain of salt. But one of the things I like about Android is it's unlocked, so you can do with it whatever you want. So there's the thing there. It's got that little tiny hole punch at the top. It's got all of the settings. We can go into settings on it. Let's talk about networks. So it has Wi-Fi. It's going to have SIM 1, SIM 2. Let me go ahead and do one other demo on it. Let's see if I have that device with me. I might have just put it away when I put away. Oh, I don't know if I'll be able to do that SIM remover. Let's grab the other one. 1 second. Audible. I needed a SIM remover, and I put the other one away, but they're exactly the same from the next product that's coming up, also from the Oukitel company. So I'm going to use this little SIM remover tool that I just dropped. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Okay, so I'm going to show you how easy this is. So in the bottom, you're going to see there's the speaker, there's the charging port, there's the mic port. Don't shove this in there. I did that once already, but there's this little tiny SIM remover. I'm going to pull this out, and I'm going to show you one of the coolest features of this phone. So there is my SIM card. So it's a nano SIM, but on the back side, you see that? That's additional storage room. So remember how the Apple ecosystem locks you out of additional storage? Not so with this one, because I can take that 1 terabyte and I can slap it on the back side. So that 1 terabyte PNY that we had, there it is right there, that takes up the SIM 1 slot. So if you're only going to use one network, you can use the MicroSD and the SIM. I'm going to shove this back in here, and then we're going to go to storage. It has 234 gigabytes free right now. And I'm going to see if I go to disk, you can see it here, 63 megs used of 1 terabyte total. So now I can actually expand this and use my storage here to free up space on the internal. Now 256 gigs is a ton of storage for videos, for applications and everything else. But this is one thing that Android has and has had for a long time, is the ability to expand your storage, which is really, really nice. Taking a quick look at the folks in the chat here. Thomas, he says, cool stream. I'm agreeing with you. Wait, does the pic it has have a knockoff of the dynamic island? Yes, it does. I don't know if that's patented or not. Blind text coming in saying icons look like an iPhone. I guess if you look at the theme, yeah, they're kind of doing that, which means if your kids are used to the iPhone bubble, it'll look very similar. The thing that I love is you can get all of the standard apps and games on this. I just have a couple things loaded in here. I've got my Netflix coming up. We're about to go on a big road trip, and I want to test this thing out. And this is something that if you've got a teen, tween that's coming up, might be a good first phone for somebody like that. Let's go take a look at the Amazon show page, because I just happen to have the listing up for this. So this is the P1, and there's several different styles of it, This one is the 24 gigs and 256 gigs of ROM built in. I don't know if I'd call that ROM would be read-only memory, but I don't think that's the case. That's built-in storage here. So 24 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage. Dual cameras. It's got a 5150 milliamp hour battery, so that should offer you all-day usage is what it's saying. And that's actually a little bit higher than some of the other devices I'm going to show you here. So the screen resolution on it, I thought it was 800, but it's actually higher. So it's I thought it was 800 by 1280, but I believe that's the tablet coming up. This one's 2400. That's that ammo LED 120 hertz screen. Now I tried the 120 hertz in Minecraft and I didn't see a big difference of it, but I haven't been using this long enough. I'll come back in one of our future shows and I'll let you know what I think of that. But I wanted to go through and just make sure I didn't miss anything. Comes with, again, built-in screen protector. I do think that the additional RAM is making this thing much snappier as well. You'll see there's the RT3 Pros coming up here. Dual SIM. It has the Helio G99 chip in it. So that is the CPU that it's got. And it does have NFC. So if you want to be that cool cat that goes to the register and pays for your drinks, pays for your groceries, pays for whatever without pulling out a credit card, you can do that too. Let me show you a couple other really cool features that this thing has. So I just went to unlock it. I can actually look at it, and it does have the face unlock. Now, I'm not going to call it Face ID because it's not. So it has the face unlocking feature, but it also has thumbprint unlock, and you saw how instant that was. So whether you're face unlocking like that, or you're not showing it face unlock and you're just using the thumbprint, super duper fast to get in your phone, be able to take pictures, do cool stuff. So it has all of those features. So this is the first time I've been using this one. I'm going to use it here on our trip coming up. I'll take some really cool video, hopefully. Maybe I'll mix something up. Tell me if you can in the chat, are there any good video editors for Android that I could use to maybe do some on-device video editing? That would be really kind of cool to see. So I think I'm going to try that. So this is the P1 from Oukitel. We're going to switch gears to another product from these guys. I just happen to have it charging over here behind me. We'll come back to this product here later in the show if anybody's got any questions. Taking a quick look at the chat. And Blood Dick says, iPhone knockoff. Man, yeah, well, what a great screen. That super high brightness. I was trying to figure out which has a brighter screen in the next products that are coming up. I'm actually going to turn, speaking of that, I'm going to turn the screen off behind me, because sometimes that interferes with the videos. But I'm going to pull up the next product that we have, and this is also from Oukitel, but this is a really, really cool product. Now, I've shown you this product before. Now, it doesn't have a kickstand. I wish it did, because that would be just such a cool look right here. This is an Android tablet, same company, same concept. This one is waterproof. It's essentially mil-spec, if we were to say that. Now, I can't say that it's mil-spec. I have to read all the things to make sure that they haven't gone through and got that certification already. But if I go ahead and turn the power on this one, now I am going to have to put my code in, and put that in real fast. My pin to unlock it here. This is the RT3 Pro. Now, I showed you the RT3, and I used the RT3 for 2 years on my boat, and it was amazing because it's a waterproof tablet with a very high nits brightness. So I can come here, and I can, again, this one can blow out the screen if we wanted to. I can bring up a boating app or something else. I'm going to allow while using the app. So Navionics Boating is one of the apps that we use constantly on the water. This would be a really good one. And the beauty of this compared to, I just happen to have my iPad mini. So this is my iPad mini here on the left. I have Touch ID, but it's not going to let me do it because it restarted. Okay, so you can see screen size is essentially the same here. Maybe a tiny bit bigger on the mini, but brightness, again, very, very similar. This one has a very high peak brightness, which is great if you're out on the water. We use, for navigation all the time, we use the Windy app. It's one of the best forecasting tools. I'm going to say I have to set this one up. This is the first time using it. Pretty snappy little tablet. That's one of the things. With the other one, it only had 8 gigs of RAM and whatever it had for the storage. I'm going to say power boating here. I'm going to say I want to get real-time forecasts. Just found the app by myself. Come on. I hate the apps that give you like a 10-minute interview. I'm going to say rarely. No. Wind. Okay, so the Windy app here is really cool with sailors. If you're a sailboater, I'm going to turn the screen around a little bit so you guys can see it. There we go. And I'm going to not buy this app, and I'm going to go ahead and find a forecast. Let's see, while using the app, notifications, open weather map. Okay, just not to dox myself, I am going to pull this up to my favorite fishing spots up here. So this is the app now showing you where I like to go fishing, and this is the Windy app. So the different colors here are the winds. Now we've got some pretty big winds coming up here. I'm turning it down because the screen is so bright, but you can see this area of green. I can zoom in to some of the nicer fishing areas, and you can see how responsive the touchscreen is. One of the cool features of this one, though, is if you're on Mint, if you're on T-Mobile, if you're on one of those others that you can get a data plan for, this one right up here on the top has another ability. Let me go grab that SIM remover tool if I had it handy here. So this is a SIM remover, tray remover, and especially for this one because they bury it down in here because of the waterproofing. This one is also, I believe, dual SIM. We're going to check it out. There we go. Going to push that out and then pull up. This has a super long SIM tray here. So you can see you can either put in a single SIM, a double SIM, or a memory card and a SIM. So it is also just like the P1, and I can shove that down in there. I don't have either on this. I'm just using Wi-Fi. But one of the advantages, the regular iPhone tablets, or sorry, I should say iPhone, the iPad tablets, those ones can't use the navigation capability because they don't have GPS. So they always have to be connected to an iPhone for them to do that. Let's open Minecraft real quick. Now we're talking a big Minecraft screen here. Let me show you the difference in size. I wonder if it's going to let me play two versions of Minecraft at the same time. So this definitely has a much larger screen across. Just looking at the stats real fast. This is an 8-inch IPS. So this is the ammo LED of the P1. I think it's not going to let me play two, but we're going to find out. So you can see the difference on these. I'm going to create a new world, create. Now, for kids, this would be an excellent tablet. And coming in at $199, it's a little bit more expensive than the the Amazon Kindles, which we used to give our kids. This is my other tablet here. This is the larger iPad 9. And you can see the difference in sizes. Yeah, the iPad 9 is obviously bigger. But to make it kid-proof, I have to put this enormous case on it. I have to go buy this case. They've already actually broken one screen out of it. My kids are a little rough on devices. But this one is completely waterproof built in. So gorgeous screen size. Again, still super bright. And I can navigate around. Very responsive. So here, I can definitely play this game. So that's one of the games that you can play on it. It will play some of the other standard games. It may or may not be able to play some of the super high refresh. There's no PUBG or anything like that going to be playing on this. But it's kind of your esports-ish titles, Clash of Clans, anything like that. Subway Surfers, the classics that are on here. It is going to be great for media consumption. So let's say you're a YouTuber and you like to watch YouTube. Let's say allow. I'm going to say me. So I can go see that there are other ones going on right now. Oh, come on now. It's trying to cast it to my TV. I don't want to do that. So I still got Minecraft running in the background, of course. But yeah, I can go down here and watch some sailing, some tech YouTubers, some tool YouTubers, and other people. Lots of Minecraft videos here. So if I want to go into one of these videos, you can see for consumption of content, super fast, just, again, instantly able to do whatever you need to do. You can multitask on it here. So I've got this running in the background. I could have multiple things open as well. So that's another capability of it. I'm going to take a look at the chat and see if anybody has questions about these two devices. This is the RT3 Pro from Oukitel. This one's going to have 16 gigs of RAM in it. It is a definite great option. Oh, and I'm getting beat up here in Minecraft. This is the P1 here on the left side which is the phone option. So again, both of these were sent out by the brand for a fair and honest review. I'm going to be taking them on our road trip, and we're going to find out how these fare with the kids, the snacks, the 18 hours of driving in the minivan, which one drives them crazy. But to do that road trip, I'm going to need a few accessories, and I'm going to need some mobile internet. So I'm going to talk about that next. I'm going to bring these off to the side. Blind Tech says, not bad. I agree. I'm looking forward to this as well, Jonathan. I'm going to try these out, and I will let you guys know. If you follow me on socials, you'll get a jump start to know exactly when I'm looking at a new product. Now, one of the new products that I had to pick up for myself the other day, let me get it up here on the live stream. Mike says, out of my range of need to know on these. He's not quite a tablet user, I guess, yet. But one of the things that I'm going to need to do is mount my phone. Now, in our minivan, it has one of those wireless charging mats. It's got one of them. And my wife's going to steal that, I know, because she loves using that thing. And then you can slave your stuff to your CarPlay and do everything in our minivan. With mine, I like to have it mounted, depending on the regulations in your state. This is from Capon. This is a MagSafe automotive charger. This is a high power MagSafe charger. So if you're lucky enough to have one of the iPhones and you're lucky enough to have a new enough one that can do high power MagSafe, this one mounts to your dash. It's one of the best mounting systems I've found. You don't have to worry about clamps. You don't have to worry about wires. You don't have to do all that. We're going to do a quick unbox here. I'm going to show you exactly what you get inside. It is USB Type A on one side to Type C on this cord. That is one of the things that is a drawback here. But the nice thing is they actually include a dual USB-A Quick Charge 3 charger. So this one will fit in your cigarette lighter output. Maybe you've got an accessory on. Maybe you're just running it for the kids. You want to charge those RT3 tablets. You could just run this directly and run another device off of there. But the key to it is this little puck that it has. So the beauty of this little puck here is this is your wireless charger. And the reason it's looking a little used, because this is the one I use. I've been testing it out. I'm going to show you how to get it set up. You loosen the back, and you have a choice of two different mounting techniques. Now, first mounting technique is the vent mount, and the second mounting technique is the 3M adhesive mount. I'm going to put this 3M here and show you kind of how that would work. So you would put that in, and this right here would go either on the top of your dash or a flat spot on your dash. And then this could connect your phone. Now, what do I mean by connect the phone? Well, this is magnetic all the time. So if your phone has a ring on the back of it, you can magnet this to it. So that's very, very strong. It boasts 15 magnets in this ring that it is twice the magnetism of the competitor. So what does that look like? Well, it can hold my phone and then some. But not only does the magnetism hold the phone, I'm going to tighten that down. Not only does it hold the phone, it's actually charging it through this MagSafe ring, if your phone supports that. Now, there's one other thing here, which is some phones, and I don't know about this RT3, I don't think it has a magnet in it. So you can see here the RT3, or sorry, not the RT3, the P1 from Oukitel doesn't have a magnet. Well, you can solve that. And I'm not going to install it all the way here, but they actually include an adhesive ring to put on the back of your phone. So maybe your phone does support wireless charging, but maybe it doesn't come with the magnet capability or device, whatever you want to have mounted to your dash. You can take this, mount it to the back of your phone. Now, this won't make a non-wireless charging phone wireless charging, but what it does is it allows your phone to stick. So there you go. So now this phone, it's a little light because it's going through this much plastic, but it has the magnet capability. So it comes with an extra ring. If you are unfortunate enough to have a phone that doesn't have that, but does have wireless charging, that might be some of your Androids. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you real quick what it does. I'm going to lift it up here. I just happen to have brought a power bank that has an output. So this is a power bank I've shown you on previous shows. If you don't have one of these for the summer, man, I would highly recommend it. These things are so nice in a power outage. We actually used this in a power outage that we had over the winter. My daughter was here at the house. We were out of town, and the power went out, and instead of trying to teach her how to turn on a generator and do all that stuff, we literally just said, grab this, bring it upstairs, charge your phone. It has a built-in light and everything. So the way this works, I plug into the cigarette lighter here just like I was a car. I'm going to plug into the bottom of this. So this is just as good as me taking you with. And look at that ring of blue light. That means it's got power. So if you're wondering, it's like, okay, it's not charging. Is it the outlet that I'm in is just not on? That will tell you because it has this built-in nice light. And if you do that, my iPhone is now charging. Now, another advantage of this one versus some of the other ones, this one will charge at the full 15 watts of the MagSafe on here. Most of the other ones are 7.5 to 10. So this will get 15 watts of charging power. So that means it's either if you're GPS navigating, doing stuff like that, it's going to stay all the way at the top of what it's allowed to use. Versus some of the other ones, if you're using your phone heavily or it's doing a lot of stuff, you could actually be MagSafe charging and it could be going down, which is always kind of scary if you're on a road trip. So that's this mount. I'll tell you, my favorite mounting technique, though, is not this one. It's actually the vent mount. Because whatever they've done in their engineering, this vent mount is like the perfect one. So you can clip it to anything that has an open vent. So I'll unscrew this. Sorry, I need to show you this way. See that moving? That's what's going to reach back inside your vent, and it's going to grab onto the plastic piece of your vent. And this goes deep. It's not going to fall off into there, but you can see how far that'll go in, and it reaches, like in my pickup, it reaches to the back side of the vent on a Super Duty. Clips in there. You attach this at any angle you want. And I actually took a couple pictures real quick of what this looks like mounted in the car before I yanked it out of there. And this is probably one of my favorite MagSafe mounts if you're looking for that. The other thing is, if you don't want to use MagSafe, sometimes like with my old MagSafe on my old phone, it would overheat. What you can do, if you got a big case like mine, you can put this in and you can plug the USB-C directly into it and you can start charging like I do right off of that. So this can work just as a phone mount, but if you want the convenience of not having to plug in all the time, plug the base in and then your wireless charging. There you go. So that is how that works. This is from Capon. Let's go take a quick look on Amazon at the reviews on this. Now it says 30 bucks. It's not going to be 30 bucks. It's actually available right now with a 40% off coupon here. So you can see that 40% off. Check that. And you're going to get this thing for $17.99. So $18 for probably one of the most versatile MagSafe mounts in charging. Now, if you don't have, for some reason, maybe you're running an older Android, you don't have the MagSafe charging ring, but you have a wireless QI charging capability, put that ring on that this came with, and you'll be able to use that on your other phones that don't have that directly in. But most of the new phones have that. And then you can just use this as a standard phone mount if you just want to have a magnetic mount as well. So good ratings on here. 144 ratings with a 4.2 average. I'm just going to make sure I didn't miss anything. There's the different mounting options that you get. So you can either mount it on a flat surface, full 15-watt charging that I mentioned. Now, Capon did not send this one out. This is one I bought, and I've gone through a variety of these. And most of them have not been as good as this one. This is the one that has worked for me, and so I literally went out and bought another one because it was so good. I'm going to take a quick look at the chat before I show you my install photos, just so you know. Oh, and you know what's funny is I have to go to a different browser because I am not logged into Edge here. Almost there. Thank you for your patience here as I pull up some actual usage photos. And of course, it's going to prompt me. Last time we were on the show, is that going to do it? Oh, we're in. Okay, perfect. I love it. Last time we were on the show, my computer decided to do Windows updates because it thought that was a great idea at the time. So here's how I use that Capon mount. Remember I was telling you about mounting it to the vent? This is the car's not on, but that was actually right here earlier today. I went out and took a quick shot. It actually goes all the way into the vent, grabs the back side of it. The vent is still usable. So we're going to go down, and it's going to be in the southwest, and it's going to be hot. And so it's nice that the air conditioning still works on it. Very easily accessible, and it stays out of the controls. Now, if it is in the way of your shifter or anything like that, move it to the other side or move it to a different vent. In our case, we have a dial shifter on this one. so we don't have to worry. And that's just showing you kind of the top-down view of what it looks like, and it stays away from the steering stalks. So definitely usable. Taking a look from Blind Tech, he says, if your case is not MagSafe compatible, despite your iPhone does have MagSafe, can you do the 3mm adhesive to your phone just to point out there? Good idea. Yeah, so if you do have a case that's like an older style that doesn't have that ring, is what he's saying, that would be a great idea. So iPhone with non-MagSafe, you won't be able to use MagSafe accessories. Yeah, that's a great idea. Great idea. Thanks for bringing that up, Blind Tech. I'm going to do one quick switcheroo here, and then we're going to go on to the fun stuff, and that is Starlink accessories. So we have Wi-Fi from AT&T in the van. We now have T-Mobile internet. We also have Verizon internet. Well, I should say Mint through T-Mobile. So wherever T-Mobile has coverage, we'll have Mint coverage. But that's not enough. You know, I'm a nerd. I like to be connected 24/7. If something goes down, I want to get my notifications through. And on this road trip that we're going, there's about 2 hours of the 18 hours of driving that are complete dead zones. So what do we have to help with dead zones? Starlink Mini. Now, I didn't put the Starlink Mini as the product today because you can buy this in many different places. I believe it is available on Amazon. Don't quote me on that. I just want to show you how the technology has changed. This little tiny dish, I believe it's up to 150 megabits down now, and somewhere around 30 up is the average. This little tiny thing that's barely over a sheet of paper is your key to portable unlimited internet access. You can get the unlimited plan, you can get the roam plan, and now there's an emergency backup plan that they're offering. So just to show you how small this thing literally is, this is my backpack. Now I take this traveling, between states. If I take the Starlink Mini, I drop this down, it fits down the front of my backpack, and I can take internet anywhere with me. Now, we have a variety of different internet solutions that we use here at the house. Would this be a complete house replacement? Probably not. I wouldn't use this exclusively if you have a broadband provider locally. But for on the go, it's pretty amazing. And if you were only going to have one item and you didn't care to have your house or not, like I carry something that's even bigger. I carry this, which is my 16-inch screen. This is a screen that goes with me when I need a second monitor. That's larger than the entire internet here with the Starlink Mini. So Starlink Mini for the win, but there's a couple things that we need to go with it. So I'm going to show you some accessories that I picked up for this trip and in the future. So one of the most interesting things about the Starlink Mini is the original Gen 2 Starlink had to move throughout the day. So it would actually follow the Starlink satellite trains in the sky. They've gone to a phased array antenna. So you can put this out here and you can get better internet by turning it into a specific orientation, and it'll walk you through that. But this one will run completely flat. Now, if you've got snow or snow buildup, that's going to be a problem. It does have a built-in heater and heat modes and stuff. But that's why they want a little bit of a taper. But if you don't mind, like we're going to do on our boat or inside our moving vehicle, you can use the Starlink on the go. To do that, you're going to need the next product. Let me go ahead and get this fired up here on Amazon so everybody else can be fired up about it like I am. And that is a suction cup mount. So the next product is a suction cup mount for the Starlink Mini that mounts it to the inside of your car, truck, RV, whatever. As long as you have a skylight or a portal or something for it to get out, this will work out to get you internet while you're driving for navigation or the kids' devices. Now, this will be a backup most likely for us on our road trip. But I just wanted to show you how this is constructed and why I think it's such a genius design. Now, this is available right now on Amazon. It's on sale, and it's $21.50. So if you have a Starlink Mini, you're going to use it in a mobile fashion. Here's a little card to tell you how to use it. So one of these is labeled A, and one of them is labeled B. The one that's labeled A is for the top of the Mini. So top being the one away from, there we go, the bottom. B is, for the bottom. It doesn't increase the Starlink Mini size by that much, but it allows you to stick this in a sunroof, like we've got 2 sunroofs. The older Pacificas had 3 sunroofs. You can stick this in either sunroof, and now it's going to be getting internet through the glass that you have. Now, it's not going to work on a ceiling if you have a solid surface, but one of the things I was excited about was how simplistic the engineering is. So you go ahead and you get this dialed in, you get it where you want it, and then you push down on these corners and it suctions. So it's not going to fall on the kid's head. It's not going to do anything like that. But it made it super easy to install. And if you want to go ahead and put this back in your backpack wherever you get, there's no glue, no adhesives, nothing to worry about. This comes out that easy. The other thing I'm interested in is if I take these screws out completely. Let me show you that. I was actually going to 3D print one of these for myself. So let me take out these adjustment screws that they come with. I can use this as a 4-point mount on my boat to be able to mount this on the roof of my boat through this. Now, that's not in the manufacturer's instructions. I just noticed that the design was exactly perfect for what I wanted to do. So for $21, it saves me a few hours of 3D printing work. And the way that you work this one is, again, you put this on, you tighten these down, and then you tighten the suction cups. And you have them already. Now, there's a little bit of movement in here. The only one complaint that I'll say that I saw about it was this a little additional space that it takes up. Sometimes people's sunroofs are not big enough for this, so it may take up just a little bit too much room. In that case, you can return it, and you can always try a different mounting system, but this is not by far very big. Let's do a quick look here. If I have a tape measure, which I do. So I'm going to go ahead and measure this for you guys live so you can see exactly how big it is. So end to end with these in their tightest orientation, it's just under 16 inches, just a hair, like 15 7/8. So that's what you're looking at for that size. If they're in their closest position this way, just about 14 and a half, I think is what I would call that. So about 14 and a half on the short distance and about 16, we said, on the long distance here. And they're adjustable because they wiggle a little bit. So if you're looking for your sunroof, 14 and a half by 16, that would be it. If you have that much room, you can mount the Starlink on the inside of your vehicle to the glass surface mount with this. So that's the first product that we're looking at for Starlink. But let me show you a couple other products which can be really useful. So the Starlink is going to come with a very large, let me get this out of the way. It's going to come with a standard wall mount adapter. I thought it was kind of interesting that they would include the standard wall adapter. Well, I guess maybe if you're using it as your only internet and you're using it at home. So they include this with, I counted it out earlier, it's a 50-foot cable. And it's only for power because the thing's all Wi-Fi now. There is a wired port in here if you want to run your own router and bypass and all that. But it has just a DC jack here. And it plugs into the bottom of this unit. You can take that piece out if you want. And it's going to plug into the bottom of the unit where it has this little DC port. But if you were to do that, you'd have to run an inverter all the time. So this little device, the output is 30 volts at 2 amps and 60 watts is the maximum output. So it takes 120 in and it converts it to that. Well, the next product that we have coming up here is something for you hardwiring nerds like me. This is a little voltage regulator. The input is from 9 to 28 volts. So this would be what we would call a boost converter. So this is going to boost your voltage up from 9 to 28 volts to 30 volts, 3.5 amps. So it's got plenty. And it comes with the exact size and scale of adapter that you need. So it fits right into the Starlink Mini. And this gives you a positive and negative DC. So in the situation of like my boat, we can actually take this, mount it inside the roof. Then I can use this and mount it on the outside of my roof flat. And I can use this on the go. So they've changed the rules with Starlink recently, where you're actually allowed to use it in motion up to 100 miles an hour. So I'll try to keep it under 100 when we go on our road trip here. You're also allowed to use it within 12 miles of the coast, unlimited. If you're over 12 miles, there's some rules about it and some times and this and that and different plans. But the idea is that they've opened up a lot of the usability and the utility of this. So the product that we're taking a look at right now is a power adapter. It's not cheap, but honestly, the alternatives are not either. So this is the Amazon page for it right now. It is $45.99, but it is a power adapter and regulator. They're calling it a step-up power supply. And there's what it looks like connected to a battery. Now, you'll have to do the math to see how long your battery is going to last. The beauty of the Starlink Mini is it uses much, much less power than the full-size Starlink. So even though the speeds are slightly lower now with the Starlink Mini, the way it's going to fit on my boat is going to be so much easier because I'm not going to have to keep pulling and putting the Starlink up on a pole like I used to. And so this allows you to do that. 18 gauge copper wire, DC plug, PVC jacketed. So it's going to have all the weatherproofing. This is waterproof, overcurrent protection, shockproof, and dustproof. And on the first 5 ratings, it's doing pretty good. So we'll see. There's the other versions. It's got the Wago connectors. You need adapters. Oh, you definitely don't want to have to splice your own because you could do that wrong and potentially hurt this. So it comes already pre-connected with those waterproof connections. Now, before you connect it actually to your 12-volt supply, if you're doing anything marine, I would recommend marine-grade connectors like the ones I've shown you on here before. And that would be one that I would recommend. There was one other product I was going to show on the show today, but to be honest, we couldn't find it. I was looking all over. I'm going to find this thing, and I'll bring it back next week. And this is an alternative connection mechanism that I wanted to show you. And I was really, really excited to test this one. And let me bring this up for you, which is also in the description right now, but this is a 3-to-1. So they sell cords that go from USB-C, from like your power banks, to this DC style connection that you see here. Now this one's only, I think, 10 feet. Yeah, so the original one's 50 feet. You can buy larger versions, it looks like, of this, but this is the 3-in-1. And the beauty of the 3-in-1 is that as long as your power station puts out PD 100, it has to say 100 PD or PD 100. As long as your power station can put out that kind of power, you can run this direct DC from your power station. Now let's take a look at this one. I just want to make sure that this one is going to work. So if you do have a Starlink Mini and you're going to run one of these, you want to make sure that you have that PD 100 port. So let's take a quick look at this one. PD 100 right there, and it's pointing to both of the slots. So this Dabson version that I have here, the Pro model, has 2 of the PD 100s and 1 of the PD 30. So I wouldn't buy that cable if you only have 30, if your power bank's pretty small. But if you do have one of these, you can use that cable either in this jack, in your car's cigarette lighter jack, which I think they should have included from the factory, to be honest. Or you can go direct DC to DC. It looks like it has that capability too, just like the one that comes from the factory. So if you don't want to lug around a 50-foot cable all the time, you can keep just the power adapter for those cases where you do have wall power. You can use that same cable 3 different ways. So very excited about that. Hopefully I'll find that here before my trip, because that's going to be kind of important for us to use Starlink on the go. Now, there are other ways to do it. Let's say I don't find that before my trip. I'll show you what I'm actually going to do. So I had it. Don't know where I put it. This is a 12-volt adapter that you can buy. It's a cigarette lighter adapter, and it's going to have some connectors on the end. And I can use this one just in conjunction with this hard mount one that I'm going to use later to create myself a 12-volt DC to 30-volt DC adapter, which is what I need. Now, maybe you say, well, I don't have an extra DC jack. You can always buy DC jacks here. They're not as cool as USB anymore, but usually you're not going to find a power delivery 100 in this form factor. So that's a couple other different ones. I thought I brought it in here, but maybe I didn't. I did bring a power supply so that we could actually fire that one up, but I'm going to skip that demonstration until we have the other one as well, because I can do it just as easily with this. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to check the chat real quick, make sure I didn't miss anything, and then we're going to recap the show real quick. Thank you guys all, by the way, for showing up tonight and checking today's show out. This is show 508. And all of those items that you saw today are available down there in the video description. They're also available on my Amazon show page, which looks just like this. I'm going to go ahead and recap the deals we checked out today, give you a quick highlights if you're just joining. We started this out by actually checking out from PNY their Pro Elite Prime memory card. This thing actually turned in the fastest performance. It's a 1 terabyte, fastest performance of all memory cards we've tested, which is a good sign, and it is also 1 terabyte, so you're going to need that extra speed to copy data in and out of it. That's a really cool product that we started the show off with. The second product we started the show, or that we went to, was then this. This is the P1 Android. Maybe it's an iPhone clone, if you want to call it that. It's available for $269. So it's basically the cost of an insurance policy for your iPhone. Looks just like this. Super bright AMOLED, 120 hertz screen, Face ID, touch, well, I shouldn't say Face ID, it's probably patented. Face unlock. It's got fingerprint scanning unlock, a super bright screen, tons of memory, and it is expandable, which is really cool. It's also super light. That's the other thing I noticed now that I'm lugging my iPhone around. This thing feels like a few ounces, which in phone terms is a lot lighter than my iPhone that I carry around with me. So we went over to the Oukitels on that. That one is not waterproof, but this one is. The one mode I didn't tell you about, the underwater camera mode. This thing is so cool. So this is the RT3 Pro. It's $199 right now, but it's already got my Minecraft running in here in the background. Let me log in here. So it is a full 8-inch screen Android tablet. It's going to run all your standard Androids. It's going to be able to run your cool navigation app. So for, actual use, if you're going to put something to work like a tablet and you need something that's rugged, this one has a built-in screen protector that it comes with. It's going to have 128 gigs of memory on it right now. Dual SIM capable, so you can have international SIM, your local SIM, take it to the beach, take it on the boat, take it as kind of your adventure tablet, and then it's going to have a decent battery life in here as well. I've been really happy with it. The other cool thing about those, if you get Mint Mobile or one of those services like I do, you can use them as a hotspot. So both of these phones and this tablet work as a hotspot. That's what I did for the first year of my boat, is I just had my Android tablet on the boat with a Mint Mobile, and it would hotspot for my cameras, my other gear that was up on the boat. So that was the RT3 Pro. After that, we went over to my favorite MagSafe charger. This is from Capon. This is their MagSafe 15-watt MagSafe high power charger and vent mount. I'm loving this vent mount. I'm going to go put it back in here and get it ready for our road trip that's coming up. But if you don't have one of these and you have an iPhone, you're missing out. It is so nice to just get in your car. You literally just put your phone up, it starts charging, and you get to where you're going. It also is a second screen. You're not supposed to be using your screens while you're driving, but even if we have CarPlay running, they want to watch something else, the kids want to do something, we can have navigation instructions on that second screen. So depending on the app you have, sometimes the second screen does provide a different level of information. After that, we talked about the suction cup mounts here for your Starlink Mini. So that's these ones right here. Just remember A and B. B is for bottom. Super easy to install, super easy way to mount your Starlink safely. Now, they actually say in their instructions not to put this outside a vehicle and just assume that it's going to stay on the vehicle. So put this inside your vehicle and save yourself and other people in traffic that you're not trying to tie a Starlink down. But that suction cup mount is something that I'm very excited about. And we wrap the show up today with this little baby adapter, which is going to be my favorite tool because it takes 12-volt DC from your car and turns it directly into 30 volts for your Starlink Mini, so you can use this mobile because they just upgraded the rules and mobile use is now allowed. This has been John the Net Guy. Thank you guys for tuning in to the show tonight. I'll try to do this each and every Tuesday. I won't be here next Tuesday. Maybe I'll be doing some content from the road. You never know. That'll be kind of cool. We'll be here after that. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and I will catch you guys all in the next one.